Are you going through an ascension sickness right now? I don't know what it is. It's the time of year, it's the time of season. Honestly, spring has just begun. Things are changing. Rebirth is on the verge. Everything is emerging energetically after a very long winter. And when we think of wintertime, I don't know who this creator was, but she explained it so perfectly in saying that during this time of year, it's kind of like your shavasana. So if you're familiar with yoga, you know that you do a whole entire Pilates session, or you do a whole entire fitness routine, you do a whole entire yoga session, and at the very end you end in something called corpse pose, or in Sanskrit it's known as shavasana, which is where you lay down and you just spread out and you just relax on your back and you're just soaking in everything. And at this time you get to process. At this time, you get to really integrate everything that you've absorbed. You get to cool down, cool off. You get to come back to your center. You just engaged in something that made you reflect. You just engaged in those weaknesses. You face those fears, the weaknesses, the shaking. You face the sweat. And now you get to really just come back home to who you are and practice stillness, practice mindfulness. And during this time, you can start to feel those waves of emotion come through. And so this is exactly what happens at the end of winter, beginning of spring, the beginning of nature's new year. So as we know in the spiritual community, in the woo-woo community, right? We don't really celebrate January 1st as the new year. Sure, the numbers change. Sure, the clocks can change too after a certain period of time. But what's really happening is we are forced into our own hibernation, if you will, where we feel a little bit dull, we feel a little bit lackluster, we get the seasonal depression, which is just an opportunity in time for you to go within, reflect inwards, to clean up energetically anything that is unwanted moving forward into the actual new year, which is spring. And so at this time that we're making this transition from Shavasana into a state where we're about to get pumped up and ready, when we're about to get up and go, when we're about to warm up our bodies again, and then just completely go all in and go for it for the rest of the year until naturally it becomes fall, and then we can start to decelerate and slow down a little bit more. But before all of that, we're not at fall, we're at the beginning of spring. And so we're kind of shaking off the rest. We were just coming through a hibernation period. And even though you may not feel that that is the case for you, even though you may feel like this winter literally just took you and whipped you around and threw you and banged you up, and you're having to go through all of these dark nights of the soul, or you're having to go through all of these moments of wild impact where you're like, oh my God, like my friend said this to me, my friend did this to me, or oh my God, I can't believe I'm getting into this kind of argument again. I haven't had to have this argument with you in years. Or oh my God, this childhood trauma just crept up and I didn't even realize I was still holding on to this. Where was this when I was doing inner child work and inner child healing a couple months ago? Like, this is raw and so real and from so long ago. And why is it creeping back up? And oh my God, I thought that I healed from this already. And why is it here? We go through all of that during the winter time and the winter season, and that is normal and that is fine. There is a reason for that. If we were meant to go and go and go and go and push and push and push and push and only accelerate for the rest of our lives, we would just be like robots. But even then, robots have batteries or lifetimes where they, are obsolete. So nothing lasts forever. Everything is changing in this life. We are made up of all of the elements. And so just like the elements, we go through natural changes. We go through natural shifts. And so even if you don't feel like this winter has been a shavasana for you, it has. Energetically, it has. It has forced you to look within. It has forced you to integrate those parts of this year that you were like, oh, okay, I didn't really realize I had to focus on this just yet. But here we are. We're at the end of the year. This is what happens and this is what's normal. Through this time, no matter what this winter has looked like for you, now that we are heading into this rebirth where things are emerging and the snow is defrosting and the birds are chirping again, and maybe you're like, oh my God, there's a spider in my house now. I almost like the winter because there is no spiders and creatures and critters in my house, and now they're coming back again. During this time, it's super pivotal. It's pivotal because we have to understand that through us awakening from this Shavasana period, from this winter period, through this rebirth, through this new activation, there is a little bit of a quantum shift within itself. Sometimes we can lead our own quantum shifts. Oftentimes we can, if you know what you're doing. And that's exactly what I teach on. But the universe also has us go through quantum shifts. Life has us go through quantum shifts. And during these periods, whether we're ready for it or not, it doesn't matter. Nature's ready. And we are nature. We are Mother Earth. We have all the elements inside of us. And so little things get awakened, little things here and there. We start to feel the energy of the sun pump through us a little bit more, a little bit more, a little bit more. We're getting activated a little bit more into our masculine. We just had this beautiful period of nurturing, of comfort, of retreating back into our feminine. And now that we're heading more into the masculine, we will feel that shift. And our energy has to recalibrate from start to finish. And so what happens during this time, as we know, we have 4 different parts of the body. This is a little quiz for you. If you've been with me for long enough, you know what the 4 different aspects of our energetic body are. And if you're new here we go. We have our physical body, our emotional body, our mental body, and our spiritual body. All 4 of these bodies get activated. All 4 of these bodies go through a shift. All 4 of these bodies get awakened. All 4 of these bodies are going through an ascension. And when we experience it on a very physical level, and we're recalibrating and we're shifting and we're emerging and energies are changing, oftentimes we can experience sickness. This is the body's way of purging everything that's unwanted, everything that's unneeded. This is the body's way of removing that snake skin. This is the body's way of us crawling out of the cave of our own hibernation. And so whether you're experiencing the sickness as vomiting or indigestion or constantly having to run to the bathroom or a sore throat or a runny nose, whatever it is, mucus in the body, headaches, fatigue, lethargy, whatever it is that you are experiencing at this time that feels like a literal physical sickness, always just say, oh, I'm going through an ascension sickness. And this is going to do a couple different things for you. And I know this is pretty new age. I don't believe that everyone back in traditional healing times, ancient times, has called it this. I'm sure that they knew the meaning of a sickness was to slow down or to rest or to take it easy. But what really happens after this kind of sickness is that you start to feel better again. But if you're stuck in the spiral of, oh, I'm sick, oh, I don't feel very good, oh, woe is me, why is this happening to me, oh, I really want to go to this event, but I can't because I'm sick, oh, I was going to do this, but now I have to cancel, you are actually perpetuating that sickness to be longer than it was designed to be. Why? Because we have free will, and wherever our time, energy, and attention goes, that's exactly what the universe is going to mirror back to us, because the universe loves us so much and loves us so dearly and unconditionally that it's going to give us whatever it is that we put our focus, our time, and our attention on, okay? So if you are going through a sickness right now, claim it as an ascension sickness. Oh my gosh, and it's 11:11 right now, so make a wish. Right now, take this time to understand within your own being, within your own body, I am going through an ascension. I am shedding all the parts of me that are no longer needed so that I can feel my very best. And I guarantee you, your sickness is not going to last as long as you have thought. It's not going to last as long as it has in the past. It's not going to last as long because you have switched your perspective of what it actually means. And everything in this life that causes an emotional impact on you is due to the meaning that it is that you give it. The meaning that it is that you give it. So be mindful of the meaning that you're giving to the time period in which you're going through right now, whether it feels comfortable or whether it doesn't feel comfortable. If you are giving the meaning of this transitional period in your life, whether you're being affected physically, in a perceived negative way, or emotionally you're being triggered in a perceived negative way, or mentally you're like having breakdowns in a negatively perceived way, spiritually you're feeling lost or confused or a bit disconnected and you're perceiving that in a negative way, it's going to be a negative thing. It's going to be a negative thing. I am helping you quantum shift through the sickness, knowing that the sickness itself is its very own quantum shift. Realize what I'm saying to you and wake up, wake up, wake up. There's a reason why I've chosen the name Mystique Awakening all those years ago and I never changed it. I never changed it. There's a reason why my mastermind that literally changes the lives of every single woman who has ever touched it is literally called the Fierce Awakening Mastermind, because I want you to wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up. You have been asleep. It is time to remember. It is time to wake up. It is time to stay activated. It is time to shift your perspective. It is time to shift your energy, shift your identity. It's time to quantum shift, quantum leap, quantum jump. And I'm trying to make this as tangible and digestible as it possibly can be, because I know that at the beginning of my journey, when I heard identity shift and shift your reality, I'm like, oh my God, I can close my eyes and when I open them I'm going to be in a galaxy far, far away. No, I'm not. Unless I'm like astral projecting in my sleep or something like that, or through meditation, but that's a whole other conversation for a whole other day. We're talking about ascension sickness. We're talking about shifting your energy. And we're talking about how we can take these spiritual concepts that seem a little bit too far out and seem a little bit too cerebral and seem a little bit too much like magic and fluff. It's not fluff. It is your calibration. It is your energy. We are electromagnetic beings. And this is how I'm going to get you to wake up today to that fact. You are an electromagnetic being. You are the bridge of spirit and matter, thought and form. And because you have this natural energy, this natural frequency that you're always emitting, wouldn't it make sense for you to consciously choose and then make it your subconscious programming and autopilot that frequency actually serve you in this lifetime for what your desires are, for what your breakthrough is, for what your next level is, for what you're upgrading to? But hey, you're your own person. You have your own free will. And if you choose for this sickness to not be an ascension sickness where you're just coddling yourself and you're settling for less and you feel like the whole entire universe is working against you instead of for you, and if you don't really feel or believe that you are the co-creator of your universe, and if you really don't believe that you were put here for a reason, if you really don't believe that you have a frequency that you can go ahead and shift and change to what it is that you actually prefer, be my guest. But I'm guessing that since you're here, I'm guessing that since you're feeling this resonating in every single cell of your DNA, I'm sensing that since you are emotionally tied and connected to what it is that you're hearing right now and the vibration and the frequency that I'm projecting out to you for you to claim, for you to absorb, for you to integrate, for you to utilize, that you do believe that you can make a massive change in your life. You are on the precipice. You're always on the precipice, by the way. I'm always going to tell you that you're right on the edge, that you're right on the line of that breakthrough. I'm always going to tell you that. Why? Because it's a conscious choice and decision that you can make for yourself. I no longer play the waiting game, and I don't want you to play the waiting game either. I used to play the waiting game for so long. When is this going to happen to me? When am I going to make it? When will the universe finally decide that I'm worthy? When will I finally get this amazing opportunity? When will I get the love of my life? When will I get this money? When will I get this? When will I get that? When is it going to happen? Is it ever going to happen? Let me check the 5th pick a pile tarot video that I can find on YouTube today and figure it out and see what the universe is trying to communicate to me. Hello, you are the universe. Hello, wake up. Hello, make the change. Hello, shift your perspective. Hello, do the thing. Hello, listen to your intuition. Hello, take the action. This is literally like, I feel like I'm preaching to you guys, but I know that you need it because I used to need it. And this is a reminder that I have to tell myself every single day. And it's okay if you get a little bit mixed up in the process of moving forward and shifting your identity and quantum shifting and quantum leaping. It's okay. But if you're going through an ascension sickness right now and you're claiming that, know that 1, it's temporary. It's not going to last forever. Don't get too stuck in it. 2, don't try to rush your way out of it either. Just because an ascension sickness can mean that you're about to blow up in your business or blow up in terms of like a very good blow up, not a bad blow up. like a very good blow up in your love life or in your relationships or in the relationship that you even have with yourself, or it means that you're about to receive your biggest desires that have not come through yet. Even though it means that, please don't rush this process. Please make sure that you're resting. Please make sure that you're drinking your water. Please make sure that you're eating nutritionally. Please make sure that you're doing exactly what your body needs of you so that you're not abandoning yourself. And that's a whole other thing. I'm feeling so on fire right now that I actually might make another little podcast episode right here for you about that very thing, about self-abandonment, because that is a huge breakthrough within itself. But we're going to have to wait for that, because right now it's still about ascension sickness. Stay in it. Stay in it to support yourself through it. Don't stay in it by telling yourself, oh, woe is me, I'm a victim right now. Okay? I promise you, there is a massive difference between the two. There's a massive difference. You are shedding your snake skin. You are removing these layers. You are moving forward in a way that you're like, oh, I've got this. I've got this. Why? Because the universe is me and I'm the universe. I understand the language of my intuition because I am my intuition. I understand that I can shift my reality by shifting the way that I'm seeing my reality. The meanings that I'm giving behind my reality. The meanings behind what it is that I'm experiencing. I know that the universe is working on a time delay right now, and right now I'm in the buffer period. I'm in the buffer period. I'm not waiting, but I'm in the buffer period. Things are happening in the buffer period. You know when you upload a video and it takes some time to render and buffer? It takes some time to actually upload. During that time, it can seem like nothing's happening other than you just see the little thing go from 50% to 65% to 72% to 83%. But things are happening. Things are happening behind the scenes. Things are uploading for you. Okay? So allow the upload to happen. But where so many of you get caught up is that you don't believe that the uploading is happening. You believe that, oh, something bad is happening, the rest of my life is going to be bad. And you forget that things are temporary and that things change all the time. You believe that, oh, I don't really see anything happening in my external reality, which means I have to double down on this manifestation technique, which is actually putting and plugging and re-inputting into the universe that I don't trust it, I don't have the faith, and that I'm actually manifesting through this technique out of fear and doubt and worry instead of faith and trust and inner certainty and knowing and fun and creativity and joy and motivation and momentum and juicy goodness. Your life is currently uploading, but it can only upload at the level that you're willing to shed, at the level that you're willing to release. And at that, infuse all the juicy goodness that you want. When it comes to the healing process, and this is what I'm going to leave you off on today. When it comes to the healing process, I want you to take a look at this little metaphor that I have for you, or this little analogy. You have a cup full of like muddy dirt, okay? And then you have a cup full of clean water. And so you can take a look at these cups as your darkness, your traumas, your shadow self, your insecurities, your fears, your doubts, and then the clean water as like your higher self, your high vibe energy, your standard, all the juicy goodness, all the love that you have, all the faith, all the joy, all the bliss. And what you can do in those moments is not look at the cup of dirt and try to pick out every last little granule of mud or dirt manually, and your hands are getting dirty and you're like, oh, this is so gross and it's like painful and it's yucky to look at. You can just take that beautiful cup of crystal clear water and pour all of it into that dirty cup. And then what happens? What happens? All of that dirt and all of that mud just lift right out easily. Lift right out. And sure, you're going to have to maybe do a couple moments of digging or a couple moments of sifting through or just really making sure that that's clear, sure. But if you were to just hose that cup with a whole bunch of crystal clear water, eventually and quickly, it will turn just as crystal clear as the water or cup of water that you had right next to it. The thing is, if you're always digging and always searching for the mud and the dirt in your life, in your soul, in your heart, in your emotional body, your physical body, your spiritual body, your mental body, that's all you're ever going to find. So I want you to think of this process as I'm not necessarily only here to release and purge and look at these shadows and cry and feel like a victim and feel like it's so hard and feel like I'm just stuck here and the universe is forcing me to take a look at my own shit, my own pile of shit. Like, no, it's there, it exists. There's going to be more. There's going to be a lifetime of more of that. That's fine. It's natural. It's okay. That's why we're here. We're human beings. That's our existence. That's how we perceive the universe in different ways. It's okay to have that kind of ego, to have that kind of trauma, to have that kind of doubt, that shame, that fear, that guilt, that embarrassment. It's all right. But instead of just looking at it as more to release, how about we think of it as, oh my gosh, how can I fill it? How can I fill that cup? How can I fill that cup with joy? How can I fill that cup with bliss? How can I fill that cup with creativity? How can I fill that cup with my own spirit? With my own beautiful essence? And how much fun can I have with this process of doing that? And yes, there's going to be days where I don't really feel like filling that cup with some juicy goodness. There's going to be some days where I feel like just staring at the cup. Some days I don't want to pick up the cup. Some days I want to hide the cup. Some days I don't want to look at the cup. Some days I just want to go away and just pretend that this cup doesn't even exist. But the cup is going to be there and it's going to get dirtier and dirtier and dirtier the more that you ignore it. So take this opportunity to say, I'm not going to let that cup get too way out of hand. And if it is way out of hand and it's been a really rough time for you, remember that you can take that beautiful, crystal clear water at any point that you always have. You're never depleted of it. You're never depleted of it. Sometimes you can take too hard of a look at that dirty cup for way too long and forget that you have another cup right next to you that's actually crystal clear. Very much like the Five of Cups energy in tarot. If you're familiar with that card, I'll send you that card here so you can see. But remember that you have that crystal clear cup. You can always drink from it. You can always utilize it to clear out. But remember too, it's got to be a balance. Don't just look at that crystal clear cup and that's the only cup you ever look at. That's the only cup you ever drink from. That's the only cup you ever utilize. That's the only cup you ever care for. You have to care for both. Right now, you're in the transitional period of clearing out one cup using the other. You can choose to make this a conscious process and practice. And the purging of that doubt, much like the purging that your body is doing right now through the elements of water, through the elements of fire if you have a fever, water if you have mucus or indigestion, right? It's all the elements. All the elements are being activated and being released and being turned over and alchemized and exchanged. Remember, it's a balancing process. So take this time as it is shifting to do something about it that makes you feel good, makes you feel high vibe, makes you feel alive, makes you feel like yourself. And I promise you that once you take a look at life and at this sickness or at this transitional period, as we're crossing the threshold of winter into spring and rebirth, if you take a look at it this way, I promise you, you are going to set yourself up for a miraculous rest of your year. One last little riff now that I've sent you these photos. And if you're listening to this on the podcast recording where you cannot see a photo, that's fine. I want you to go and pull up on your browser Five of Cups Tarot and click images so that you can see exactly what I'm talking about. In the Five of Cups, you see a man cloaked in his own despair, cloaked in his own grief. You can see that because the symbology of the black, right? The black cloak of sadness, of grief, of despair, maybe of disgust, right? And then before him, he has three cups that he has seen that have fallen. They're his cups, his pride, his joy, his emotions. The cups card equal water. Water equals emotion. And so three cups before him have fallen. So sad about it, so in grief, so lost in his own grief that he cannot even see or pay attention to or remember that he has two cups behind him standing firm, standing strong, pristine, perfect, ready to be recognized by him, ready to be utilized by him. But he can't see that. He's completely faced away. He's turned his back on those two. But if he were to just turn around, he would see, oh, wait, There is the silver lining. It's actually more than a silver lining, I would argue. It's exactly the amount of resources that he needs at this time to move him forth into better days, happier days, sunshinier days, days that make him feel like him again. And it's okay to have these days where, again, I'm a little bit lost, I'm a little bit scared, I'm a little bit confused. But you wake up and 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 remember that you are asleep in those moments. If you feel like you've been stuck in them too long, it's normal and healthy to take a look at our grief, our despair, our sadness, our depression. But getting stuck in there, getting spiraled in there, taking that time to lose or forget, to remember what it is that we do have, the resources that are available right at our fingertips grasp, like disposable, like we can use that. We can use that to regain our power, regain our inner strength instead of falling further into the spiral. So do not spiral this season in this ascension sickness. Turn around, wake up, look at the other cups, look at what you have around you, look at the resources, look at the opportunity. You can make this shift happen in an instant. I'm not joking. Your internal reality sets the standard for your external reality. Do not forget. Wake up, wake up, wake up. You're here. You've got this. I'm ready, right? I'm ready for you to be ready. You be ready. I'm ready to see you leap. I'm ready to see you soar. I'm ready to see you have everything that you've ever wanted. I cannot be more ready than you are. Right? Show me that you're ready. And if this really resonates with you, I want you to reach out to me, DM me, email me, write a review on the podcast if you're listening to this on a podcast. And I want to hear your thoughts. I want to hear your wake-up moment. I don't want to hear your, I've been dealing with this and this and this, this and this, unless it comes with, but then I did this. Watch me rise. And I will be here for you, cheering you on, your best champion. I will be here, pioneering the way, guiding you through, back to your own light, helping you remember who you are, helping you shift into the person that you were always born to be. I love you so, 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 so much. And remember, if you're really ready to make this shift and you still haven't even taken the inspired action to join the free Quantum Receiver Masterclass, make sure that you're doing so as soon as possible. I want you in that room. You want you in that room. Your next level self wants you in that room. Love you. I'll see you there.